Hey there, how are you? So today I want to talk to you about getting older. Alright, as much as I like to cry and crow about it, I'm not really that old. I feel that old. For what it's worth, I'm 41 years old. There's days when I feel like I'm 41 going on 60. But without fail, anytime I start to complain or whine about getting older, I'm reminded by people older than me that I really have no leg to stand on. I get it. Someone who's in their 50s or 60s looks at a guy like me and says, "You're just a baby." That's a hard pill to swallow. I guess it is all a matter of perspective, but when I look at the world around me, I realize I've been out there working full-time for 20 plus years. I've raised a family. I've got 2 college-age kids. I've done and seen a lot, personally and professionally, over those last 20-something years. How old am I again? I can't help but find myself thinking about issues of mortality and aging in general. If I look at my own family history, longevity is not something that tends to run in my family. Best I can tell, typical life expectancy of people in my bloodline is about 67 years or so. When I take that into account, well, what the hell? I've been at it for 20-something years. I've only got 20-something years left. There's a comment posted on one of my recent videos that gave me a little chuckle, but kind of gave me pause as well. The person commented that I look like an overweight young Robert De Niro. And yes, I am overweight. I'm working on it. It's not easy. Your metabolism changes when you turn 40. But that aside, the fact that this person said I look like a young Robert De Niro, I think I look young. Felt like a birthday present. By the way, it's nowhere near my birthday. My birthday is in the end of October. We'll do all kinds of silliness then. So how do you reconcile these issues of feeling the weight of your own mortality, balancing the sum total of your life experience, and managing the perceptions of others about you? There are times when I stop and think, wasn't I just like 18 years old a little while ago? I did kind of grow up fast. My wife and I married pretty much straight out of high school. We had a 3-year honeymoon before the big man came along, but by 23 years old, I was full on into adulthood. So I look back at the childhood experiences and the things I did and the things I went through growing up. It's kind of hard to reconcile where I am now. Plenty enough times that I only sort of kiddingly dropped a comment about going through a midlife crisis, and that's probably where this hair came from. You could argue on some levels that this YouTube experience is part of the midlife crisis. I find myself wrestling with the validity of statements like, age is just a number. You're only as old as you feel. Doesn't matter how old you are if you're young at heart. Well, when I was sitting on the doctor's examination bed yesterday, having him talk to me about my blood pressure and starting to ask questions that I would expect someone much older to be asked, thinking about some of the inevitable medical procedures that are going to be in my immediate future, it gets tougher and tougher not to think of myself as just old. Another analogy I use sometimes when I'm talking to people about age, and more specifically people that are my age, they'll look at me and go, "You're the same age as me, you're not old." I'll look at them and I'll say, all right, let's just say that you and I are both 1975 Corvette Stingrays. Beautiful car. The difference between you and me is, you look like you've been held in a showroom, washed and waxed twice a month, hardly ever driven. Well, I've been driven up and down from New York to Florida 5 times every year for the last 30 years. They only occasionally remember to change the oil, and they've never rotated the tires. It doesn't matter what model year you are, it matters how many miles you got on the engine. This video has nothing to do with regrets at this point. I'm sure that's gonna come later on in life. But sometimes I feel like I've lived enough life to accumulate some regrets. This is neither the time nor the place for that conversation. Maybe we'll have that conversation in the future. But for now, I want to ask you, how do you feel about your age? Are you in your 20s, feeling like you're on top of the world? Are you in your 30s, wondering if you've accomplished everything you wanted to? Are you in your 40s, 50s, looking back at everything you have done? Or are you coming up late in life, thinking about everywhere you've been and everything you've seen? If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe and come along for more of these conversations. Give this video a like, maybe a share. But no matter what, my friends, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the road.